Howdy. Today I'm breaking from the norm that I've been doing, talking about social media and blogging and whatever. This one's a little bit more personal. Okay, it's a lot more personal. A year ago, yesterday, since I'm posting this a day after I actually recorded this, I brought my mother here from the Rochester area to live with us. My mother had fallen in her house the Friday before, actually I guess you could say Saturday morning, and she was in the hospital, and even though she didn't hurt herself all that bad, they recognized what I was coming to a conclusion on, that she could no longer live by herself. So they wouldn't release her back to her house unless there was going to be someone there. I don't live in the area. I live in the Syracuse area, so it's not necessarily close. And we brought Mom to my house, and Mom has been here for a full year now. And Mom has dementia, and it has not gotten better. Dementia is one of those things that does not get better. It only gets worse. And it has. It has not gotten to a point where we can't have her here with us yet. But you can tell that there are things that are changing. And so, you have to be of a mindset, if you're going to bring a parent in, that you will make things as good as they can be, and you will try to find an understanding of how things are, and you will take it as much as you can take it because I now understand that there will come a point where we will have to put Mom in a facility. We just won't be able to handle it. But it's an interesting year that I've had, and I wanted to talk about this because this is going to happen to a lot of people. It already has happened to a lot of people, and I thought I would just share some things that have happened this year, and a little bit of personal growth, and some things that I had to come to grips with, and some things about Mom. And I'm sorry, I'm probably going to be clearing my throat a few times. I hope I don't go into a coughing fit. I have not been fully healthy, and I've got no water. So, the first week or so of Mom being here, my wife handled everything. Thank goodness for her. She had experience as a certified nursing assistant. She had worked in nursing homes. She has no problem whatsoever with cleaning Mom and dealing with bathroom things and whatever. I am an only child. I am a guy. I had issues with all of that. I just did. That was all stuff that was freaking me out. And yet, that's not the first thing I had to overcome. The first thing I had to overcome was the advice that I got from some people who actually came in to do some physical evaluations of Mom and to help her learn a few things. For instance, we had occupational therapy and physical therapy come in, and the occupational therapist said to me, when they say something that's wrong, you should let them know what's right. Sounded like good advice to me, and although my wife said, I don't know that you should do that, it sounded like good advice to me. I'm one of those people. Until I read something, if I have an authority who tells me this is something I should do, I'm going to do it. So I was correcting Mom all the time. Mom had no clue what I was saying, or at least she couldn't remember it. And when your mother has asked you the same question 12 or 13 times in a row, and you keep correcting her, at a certain point, you get tired of that, and you just start to say, yep. So, for instance, if I gave Mom a drink and she said, is this Pepsi? It became Pepsi. Didn't matter what it was. If it was apple juice, she knew apple juice, but nothing else. So everything else is Pepsi. That's just how it works. You learn to do this because it does bring them some peace. Now, that was the very first lesson I had to learn, and it took me a while to learn that. And it's something I should have realized, because when I was in college at first, teachers would tell you to do certain things. You did them. They didn't give you credit for that. And you started saying, you know what, I need to do this my way so I can get the grades I want. Same as here. So that was the biggest thing I had to learn. Or at least It was the first thing I had to learn. The biggest thing I had to learn was to stop taking things personal. And I took a lot of things personal. My mindset was, wait, here I am now. I've gone out of my way. I've brought you to my house. I'm going to take care of you. I'm doing all these things. And how can you have these feelings about me? And how can you say these certain other bad things about me? And how can you go around telling all these people how bad I'm treating you? It's never personal. Mom doesn't have the capability of making it personal. I mean, she just doesn't. You know, as they get older and they have dementia, they lose filters. And so they just say the things that come to them in that moment. But they don't realize that they're saying it. Mom has no recollection of it. If I asked her 5 minutes later, so what was that thing you were just saying? She has no clue that she said it. She just doesn't. Now, there are certain things that stay on her mind all the time. For instance, Mom wants me to take her to the bank almost every day. Ain't happening. When Mom was living by herself, see, I can tell this now. I never would have told it before. When Mom was living by herself, Mom was walking around $4,000 or $5,000 all the time. She just had this thing that was scary as sin, but I didn't live there. It was hard for me to stop. I would take it away, put it aside, and then as soon as I left, I knew she was going to get it. And I didn't want to be hiding money around the house from Mom because she would just run to the bank and get more. That didn't make any sense. So, in Mom's opinion, if she doesn't have $4,000 or $5,000 in her purse, she doesn't have any money. Thing is, Mom does have money in her purse. I make sure she has money. Nothing like that, but I make sure that Mom has a little bit of money if we go somewhere and I say, okay, let's take your purse, which most of the time we don't. And Mom can't count her money. She just can't. So it makes no sense, but I understand this is just that pull. That's that thing that she had. Mom used to want to go to Wegmans all the time. For those of you who don't live in the Northeast, Wegmans is a grocery store chain. I live, as a matter of fact, Wegmans and I share a backyard for one of their stores. Mom wanted to go to Wegmans all the time. When Mom was living by herself, she did. Every day, Mom hopped in the car and went to Wegmans. I understand that because quite often, I will hop in my car and go to Wegmans. But Mom would go to Wegmans, go buy dessert things or whatever and go home, or sometimes didn't buy anything. But Wegmans was just somewhere she could go. And we had to basically end that because Mom ends up in pain. She has arthritic knee and Mom's kind of squishy, soft, and whatever. She's considered healthy by general terms, but everything hurts Mom. So I had to stop that. You know, if I take her to Wegmans, let her walk the store one time, she's in extreme pain all night long, and there's just absolutely nothing you can do about it. Mom just can't walk those kind of distances anymore. So that was the second thing I had to learn, was to stop taking things personal. I had to learn to be the parent, which sounds really strange. I've never been a parent, but there were a couple of experiments I tried during that time period before realizing that I had to take control of things, where there was stuff Mom just said and wanted and did whatever. And I said, okay, fine, here you go. And my wife doesn't know I did it. So I ain't telling you what I did, but I did some stuff and it didn't work. It didn't work. You know, it's like trying to do psychology with a 3-year-old. Which I've done. It doesn't work. You cannot do psychology on someone with dementia. You can't do psychology with a 3-year-old. You just don't have the capability to understand it. It ain't gonna work. So I had to realize that now I have to be the one to do all that stuff. Which basically says I have to be the one to monitor how much food I'm giving Mom. I have to be the one who monitors how much dessert Mom has. During the summer, I have to be the one to make sure she's drinking enough water. And during the winter, I have to make sure that she drinks water at certain times so that she's not getting up during the night when my wife and I are trying to get some sleep that many times, because Mom has bathroom issues. I'm not telling anything out of the house. This happens a lot. Dementia, you start having issues with that. That's just sometimes how it is. During the day, I monitor Mom's bathroom. As a matter of fact, at least every hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on whether I've given her something to drink or not, Mom's going to the bathroom. She doesn't like it, but I don't care, because I don't want to take any chances on Mom not making it to the bathroom, if you know what I mean. Not having that. That turns out to be an issue that we sometimes have had overnight, but what can you do? You know, I could bring someone in to sit with mom at night, but that's basically paying someone money to watch mom sleep until mom wakes up and then taking her to the bathroom. And it's also someone who's now in your house at night. And I'm sorry, you know, you can tell me, well, you could get one of those little cute 21-year-olds to sit with your mom. That doesn't mean they may not have a knife or a gun to try to kill you in your sleep. It ain't happening with me. I know that may seem a bit over the top. It happens all the time. It ain't happening to me. So I've had to learn how to control those kinds of things. We bring in physical therapy every once in a while to work with mom just to get her some movement. And that's another thing. You start to find out that it's just like taking them to the doctor. You take them to the doctor, they are perfect. Oh, you got any pain? Oh, no. Anything? No, everything feels fine. Then get home. Oh, this hurts. That hurts. Oh, I can't do this. So I tried to exercise with mom. She did it early on. Then she stopped. And eventually, you bring in PT. She does everything they ask. Easy. And then hours after they leave, oh, God, oh, this hurts. Oh, this hurts. And I said to her the other day, why is it that Carol comes over and you do everything she asks, and all I ask you to do is go to the bathroom and you say you can't move? I do. Yes. It's just reaction. Everything is just that. And, you know, you learn that it's not conscious. It's unconscious behavior. Sometimes it's still bad unconscious behavior, but that's just what it is. And you have to learn to roll with the punches and just take it. Once a week, we take mom to a senior center. Mom hated going at first because mom wants to sit in the chair and basically watch TV or just sleep in the chair all day long. But we do need some time to ourselves. And so every Wednesday, we take mom to the senior center. And then she badgers my wife. My wife takes her in the morning. I go pick her up. When are you going to come get me? You can't leave me at that place with those people. I don't want to go there. They're old people. Then she gets there. She has a wonderful time. They have food. They have dessert. They play games. They do all this stuff. I pick mom up. She's ready to go. We get in the car. Mom, what'd you do today? I don't know. Mom, what did you eat today? I don't know. Mom, what was dessert today? I don't know. You don't know anything you did? No. Then we get home the next day. Did I leave the house yesterday? You know, it's been an interesting 1 year period. And I wanted to do this because it sounds scary. It really does. It really was. When my wife suggested we bring mom home, we didn't have any other option. Well, we did, but we'd got creamed. I may talk about that a different day. But it has been interesting. I've gotten some pictures of my mother. My thumbnail is going to be a picture of me and mom. And I just want to tell people that you shouldn't run away from what I'm going to say is the opportunity to have your parent in your house, at least for a short period of time, and just see what's going on. I've never felt sorry for my mom. As strange as that sounds, I've never felt sorry for my mother, and I've never felt sorry for myself. I understand what it is. My mother has been stressed her entire life, and she went through a lot of this with my grandmother. Matter of fact, one of the strange things is that the other day I'm going through some of her papers, and I came across a couple of articles my mother had cut out on dementia. And this is going back about 10 years ago, and she must have been reading these articles in regards to my grandmother, who started having certain issues. So I found that ironic that mom did it, learning something about my grandmother, and she must have learned some stuff. I think mom does know that she has the memory issues, and every once in a while it makes her sad, and she gets depressed about it. And she gets depressed because she realizes that a lot of her family members are all gone, at least those who are older than her, and that depresses her. But she doesn't remember that they passed away. She just knows they're gone. one of the big things, for instance, is my grandmother passed away in 2011, and mom every once in a while gets depressed and says, "How come no one told me my mother passed away?" To which I tell her, "You were there, because I read a book that said you should never tell them when someone has passed away, but it comes up all the time." And mom wanted to call, and she wanted to go visit, although that was never going to happen because she wanted to go to Kansas City, Missouri, or Shreveport, Louisiana. You have to do something to try to rein things in. That's another bit of advice I want to give you, is that sometimes you have to take advice that someone else gives you and modify it for your own use. There's a lot of stuff that I just go with the flow on with her, but there's other times I have to tell her, "Mom, your grandmother passed away back in the 80s. There's just nothing. I want to go call out Mom Mia. It ain't gonna happen. She'd have been 117 years old. It's not gonna happen." So you change some of those things. I've had to take down all the pictures of my grandmother and my great-grandmother. I had to take all that stuff down because every time she saw the picture, she started crying. No one wants to have their parent crying all the time. So I've removed all those pictures. I have a picture of Mom and Dad, and I had to get used to that. Mom doesn't miss Dad as much as she misses everyone else. But I had read that they're going to revert back to their childhood memories, and Dad is not a childhood memory. So I had to get used to that, because that might have been the only thing that kind of has depressed me during this entire time. But you have to be willing to step up and do what's right, even if it's just for a short period of time. And there's a community of people out there who are going through it, who you can talk to. And I will tell you that if you really need to, talk to some of those people. There's an Alzheimer's Association somewhere near you that you can get some information from. There's seminars, there's online training. If you need help, do it. But don't avoid it. It's been quite interesting, and I can honestly say I never thought I was going to do anything like this in my life, but I'm glad that I've had the opportunity to spend this kind of time with my mother, because it had never happened any other way. Anyway, it's time to stop because this is getting kind of long, but I just wanted to talk about it, my first year. I may even end up writing about it at some point on one of my blogs, but we'll see. Anyhow, if you have any questions, if you have any commentary, anything you'd like to say about it, if you can understand where I'm going with this, leave a message. Let's show each other support. I thank you for watching and listening, and I hope you all take care.